Welcome to the Quiet Shift Podcast. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect or represent those of the hosts, production team, or 502 Media, LLC. We do not endorse or take responsibility for any opinions, statements, or actions made by our guests, as their actions are entirely their own. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Discussions may include topics that some listeners may find sensitive or triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. The Quiet Shift Podcast and 502 Media LLC do not accept any liability for the statements made by guests or for any actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. The Quiet Shift Podcast is a registered trademark of 502 Media LLC, all rights reserved. Any unauthorized use, reproduction, or distribution of this content without the expressed written permission of 502 Media LLC is strictly prohibited. Thank you for listening, and welcome to the Quiet Shift Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Quiet Shift Podcast. My name's Anthony, content creator, badge 502, and today we have an amazing guest. Today we hang out with one of the most amazing creators that I've ever seen because it's one of the first creators, believe it or not, that I ever followed on this platform. Whoa. Known for his hilarity on everyday takes in life, his hysterical dialogue and family-first mentality. I'm very happy to come introduce you guys to a good friend of mine, Justin. You guys know him as the Bean Wizard. What's going on, Justin?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Oh, I am
Thank
just
you
this
so
side.
much.
I'm just this side of fantastic, man. It's good to have you here, brother.
Yeah, thank you. It's so good to be here. I'm really excited. This is awesome. I've definitely been really looking forward to this, and so this is going to be great.
Oh, dude, me too. Literally, since I sent that email, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even believe I pressed send on this email.
It was funny because I wrote back. I was at work, and I wrote back, and then I didn't hear anything from you, and I was like, did I respond too fast? Because I literally waited, like, I think it was 10 minutes, and I responded.
Was I supposed to wait 3 days? So for those of you who don't know, which I can't imagine any of you don't, Justin is across all major platforms. The Bean Wizard has taken the internet by storm. Aspects of content that you've managed to cultivate, everything from your man with the tinfoil hat to your Bean Wizard eating, so many different aspects. So tell us a little bit about just Justin himself. Let's learn a little bit about Justin.
Yeah, so I live in New Hampshire. I'm married. I have a beautiful, incredible wife and two amazing girls. I live out in the country, so a lot of my time is spent being outside with my family, and I work as a correctional officer, and I just really enjoy spending as much time as I can with my family, just making some content here and there. Having that definitely lackadaisical, not lazy, but that just chill mentality about it of just being, letting things come to you and being natural with it is definitely something that we've really tried to cultivate for sure. So that's about it. I like to read, draw, definitely do that, play little video games here and there.
Nice. What do you like to play?
Right now, I really enjoy like zombie games. Like I'm playing Dying Light 2 for some reason. And it's like the same thing over and over again. And I'm just waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, but I don't know if that'll ever come out. And when it does, I'll probably be retired. So, I'll have as much time as I can play.
Have you seen? I just saw it yesterday. It's this new zombie game that I think just might have dropped called Vane. Have you seen it? Dude, it's incredible. So it's like a zombie survival, and I'm not a huge zombie survival guy, but this is like, from what I've seen, it leans more towards the survival end than the zombie end. Really? Like it has occasional zombies. So it plays like you're it almost plays like Fallout would, in a way where you're going to cultivate your own place where you decide you want to live and all this other type of stuff. It's really cool. It's called Vane. It looks like I really want it. VEI. Yeah. It looks really good.
I was really excited about a game called Blight, which was like a zombie outbreak in the medieval times, and I was like, that sounds awesome, So I was like, but that's on Steam, and I don't have Steam, so I'm like,
why not?
Because I don't know, man. I
1995.
Honestly, I don't really play that much, and I really am just like, oh man. I've been really, I have a few things that I get into here and there, and I'm really fixated right now. It's Magic the Gathering, so I play a lot of MTG Arena, so that's really fun.
A couple of my buddies are huge into Magic. Dude.
hilarious story one time. So a guy at my jail that I work at, a guy in booking, he's also being into. We have like 4 people who are huge into it, and we were talking, and I had an inmate in cuffs, and he was doing a urine test. And he sat there, and he's like, "You guys talking about crack?" And so then my coworker looks, and he goes, "Cardboard crack." And I was like, "That's literally what it is." But
It's
no,
like, what
it's
happened? I don't know. I got in trouble for yelling lightning bolt at somebody, and there it is, landed. He knows it. He knows it. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
that is such a funny video. Oh my word,
But
I
yeah,
love
no,
that.
definitely, that's definitely a game you may want to check out. I'm definitely gonna. I have
Yeah,
so little time to jump on games, but I think
yeah,
if I get it on my PlayStation, I might be
right.
able to just play it through my PS Portal,
Oh, there you go.
and that might be because I can at least I'll be able to play upstairs when I'm like
Yeah,
with the family, and so I could ignore
yeah,
them for a little while.
right. Yeah, yeah. Go do your own thing.
How long you been in corrections?
So I've been in corrections for in November it'll be about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been life changing for real. I've had some of the most life changing moments that have happened there, whether it be finding like my best friend right now, who's like a brother to me. I found him there, and then just having some crazy, crazy stories, meeting some of the most wildest people, just having those interactions with people that you never thought like you knew existed, but like they exist somewhere else, and like, but they exist here. And so
That's
that's
amazing.
what it is, and then just meeting some really like just down to earth, solid people. And it's just been really just a really huge blessing, especially for me. This has been the longest job I've ever had because I was just somebody who had job ADHD where I would just bounce around from
Boy,
job to
howdy.
job. And,
Me too.
I finally sat on this and I was like, this is nice. And, the benefits of it are great too.
Smells like
So,
a pension to me.
yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. We got to wait until I got another 6 years. So then I get vested and then we'll see.
Yeah, man. Freaking tell you. I did exactly the same. I installed pools. I did freaking everything. And then
Yeah.
I entered the restaurant business, and I went from serving on the floor. I went up into management, for corporate restaurants.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I worked I don't know if you're familiar with the Job Corps program. I work with
Yes.
familiar with the Job Corps program. I
Mhm.
was there, I was security there for 6 months because I
Oh,
couldn't,
wow.
or for 3 months because I couldn't take the restaurant business anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I will take anything. And I put out an APB to my friends. Someone was like, "We're hiring security." So I was like, "Okay." I did that, and 3 months later, the kitchen manager quit,
Oh,
and right back in the
there
kitchen.
you go. You're like,
They're
oh,
like,
okay.
get behind the tiles, kid, get out of here."
Yeah.
But then finally, when I left there, I ended up getting hired on as a range safety officer and a firearms instructor at a
Oh,
range that's
wow.
local to us, big range here in
Nice.
the state. And when COVID hit, I had already started filling out my paperwork for EMS and
Oh,
for
good.
the police department.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, I was like scanning foreheads. I was doing like all the stuff for
Oof.
the company that was the people that did my CPR instructor
Right.
certification.
Yeah.
They hired me on to scan foreheads, and let me tell you, it was the best job I think I ever had. It was like
Oh,
19 bucks. It
really?
was like $19 an hour, which isn't crazy money, but
Right.
I worked for an hour in the morning. I worked for an hour and a half in the afternoon.
Wow.
I was there for 10 hours. I got paid for 8 hours. That entire time, I put myself through 2 semesters of college, and nobody was there. It was just workers. You know what it was for? When you spray your keyboard,
Yeah.
you spray it with dust off.
Yeah.
That's the company I worked for. It was Falcon Safety Products, and they were amazing. The people that were there were amazing, but there weren't many people there because it was COVID. So
Right.
they set me up in this little office, little four-walled office. By the end of it, I was in this mansion of an office with like this massive wraparound desk. I'm doing my
You got a
EMS work.
jacuzzi and a mini fridge in there?
Literally, like I was putting myself through school and doing all that stuff right in the middle of COVID. I became an EMT and a police dispatcher in the height of COVID, which is obviously that's the way you want to do it.
Yeah,
So
of course.
that's how the smart people would do it.
Yeah, yeah. There's the National
Yeah,
Inquiry of Disease.
seriously.
Yes.
Yes, you know what sounds good? The middle of it.
Yeah, yeah. I want to be
Two
right on the
2 weeks into EMT school, all of a sudden people started getting the sniffles.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Myself included. I was
Oof.
wrecked. And we're like, it's
Yeah.
just a cold. Everybody was there. Everybody was
Yeah.
there. We all had colds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Nobody's dropping. We're fine. It's fine. How bad
Yeah.
could this possibly be? Fast forward
Right.
6 months.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
I put myself through EMT school from there. I got
Awesome.
hired on to the police department from there. The
Yeah.
police department hire on process was like a year because they weren't letting anybody into the station. They weren't letting anybody
That's
in.
That's crazy.
That was nuts. It was a rough. That
Yeah,
was a crazy, crazy time.
I can't believe it was like 5 years ago.
Isn't that nuts? It happened quick.
That's so nuts. I think about that and I'm like, wow. Fortunately for me, I was at a nursing home and I ended up leaving there and I did framing for, or no, I did, it was a sign turner. So I'd sit and I would turn signs at job sites, like, oh yeah, you can go, like, is he clear? Yeah, okay, come on,
Oh,
and
like the slow stop signs.
yeah, I did. And I was like, this is horrendous, you know?
Especially, I mean, you're up in the Northeast. Like
Yeah.
I'm in the Northeast, but you're in the Northeast. So
Right,
like,
right, and it was
so
getting
that's
right around that time for winter, and I was like, "I don't know if
mm,
we can do this,"
can we do this
and then
inside?
1 year married, everything fresh, and you're just like so finally I went on Indeed and I saw that, jail was hiring, so I walked in or I fill out application, and I get a call, and the lady's like, "You wanna come in for an interview?" And I'm like, "I've been outside for 12 hours today, I smell terrible," and she's like, "Come on in," and so I did.
No, we all stink. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah, I know, she's like, "It's jail, what do you think they can smell like?"
We all stink. The captain will be
Yeah.
waiting for you. What the what?
Yeah. And so I go in and I tell her, I talk with her, and then I had another interview, and then I ended up getting the job, and I've been there ever since. So that was at the
That's
end of
beautiful.
November. Yeah, it was great.
See, that's what I should do,
Yep.
man. I need to come up that way to freaking get a job in
Yeah.
corrections, man.
Yeah.
Over here,
I
it's hard. You got to go through civil service here and do all that stuff, and it's a nightmare.
I will tell you this, like, because they're like, you get a lot of inmates who jump around and tell you, like, hey, like, what's it like other places? And they're like, it's not like here, that's for sure. But the thing
Stay
is
here
like,
as long as you can.
literally. Yeah, we've had some of the most hardened guys, like, come and then they, like, leave and then come back, they're like, "I'm so thankful to be here," And
This
I'm
is
like,
great.
"What?" Yeah, they're like, "I don't have to sleep I don't have to be awake all night wondering what's gonna happen to me, I can live in
Scary shit.
peace," and it's like, wow, you're like,
Mhm.
"This is jail, dude."
Yeah.
They're like, "To me, it's like the Ritz-Carlton." You're like
It's
so
wild because a lot of people will say, a lot of corrections officers that I know happen to be, just because I'm in the business and I'm in business adjacent, if you will.
Right,
And a lot of people they have to make sure that they set that standard where it's like this is my house, but this is your home, but this is my house. And
right.
it's like, sometimes you got to be that guy.
Right, for sure, and I mean, that definitely comes and I think one of the best things was that, information I ever got was from my, captain who hired me on at the time, and he told me, he goes, "Don't ever be something you're not because they have 24 hours a day, 365 days a year." And you're only there for 8 hours and you have 2
Hmm.
days off a week and they will study you. And so since then, I've literally been like who I am right now, a little different for sure, but who I am right now is the same way I'm at work. Because if I walked in and I was just a complete like a-hole, they would like be able to sniff that out
They'll they'll
immediately,
they'll still sense you. They got you
dude.
pinned.
Yeah. So I play the wild card. I'm that guy who's like, what's he gonna be like today? And you're like, I don't know. They're like, why are you
Come in
talking
with the
to
foil
yourself?
hat.
Come on. Do you have any beans?
And speaking of which, like your content, so obviously I've been following your content for way longer than I care to admit because
Oh
I've
my
been I've
gosh.
been I've been shadow lurking faux miaver for miaver, and you've had so many different facets. Like you said, you've had the character that comes out with the foil hat. You have the guy
Right.
the troll almost character who's coming out with who's eating the beans.
Oh
Who's listening to the
yeah.
foil hat and has the beans on his head. Who
Yeah.
troll with the staff and just
Yes.
random outlandish, just pointing at signs and running and falling. The character we were falling all the time. So many different facets. How did you end up? Because these characters have to be developed in their own individual way because they're not. Each one of them is not the same person as
Right.
you portray them. So how did you end up diversifying, if you will, that type of content? Because that's really impressive. That's not very easy to do. And something I've only just started to do is diversify my
Right.
content. So
So I mean, there's a really infamous quote, and it really applies to me. And I'll say this: that behind every strong man is an even stronger, incredible woman, and that would be my wife, Hope, who is the harbinger of this all. Because without her, there would be none of this. Like without her believing in my comedic ability of even like displaying it and encouraging me through that, there wouldn't be anything. She's somebody who believes in it. She loves it. She loves to do the things that nobody loves to do. Like, she's like, "Oh, I love editing. Oh, I love doing all these." I'm like, "What?"
she for hire, Jesus.
No, I literally said
Even
that.
I
I was
don't
like,
like doing it. It's my
I know. I was like, "Do you know how much money we can make?" Like, like I wouldn't have to work, So I'm just like,
seriously. It's like
but
you could get paid for that.
Right, right. And so, but she just is like, she's so good at finding out what hits. So like a lot of her viral videos, except for like two of them, have been all of her ideas. And so I think a lot of where that comes from and that comfortability is just having that ability to just like not care about what people think or about what you're doing in that moment, but just you're just truly having fun and being authentic, because without that, if you put like labels on it or if you put any type of like filter on that, it's not funny. Like we've definitely been in places where we've been filming and we're like, this isn't funny. And she'll even say that because she's like, this
It's
isn't
like, I
funny
gotta
at
tell you,
all.
this
And then
kind of sucks.
yeah, yeah, she stops filming. I'm like, oh, okay, like, and then we'll pick it up a little bit, in a few hours or so. Uh, I guess for me, it's a lot of just like, oh, what would be funny? Like, I think the biggest thing that I've always stood by is that it's really easy to be like a raunchy comedic person. Like
Yeah.
I can talk about like the most disgusting sexual things, or I could talk about like the most like awful things. And it's so easy. But the hardest thing is to be wholesome. The hardest
Hmm.
thing is to be genuine. And so it's like, okay, like how can I do that? And what does that look like? And I think what that looks like is what you guys see, because it's authentic, it is real, it is true. Though some of the funniest moments have been just unscripted, like hilarious things, like the whole thing with I do one with my daughter where we have a tea party, you know,
Love it.
people
Loved
love
it.
that.
It's
Like,
great.
she posted a video that we did, like, about a year or 2 years almost. Yeah, it'll be about 2 years, and that started climbing up again, and a lot of it is just getting those, like, real reactions, because I think that's really hard to find, and I think what people really desire is that realness and that, like, just being genuine, because when they see that, how often do they see that? You know what I mean?
It's
And
very true.
so I think if you have that and you're going for that, I think it's n it's a lot harder to fail with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to word it, but it's
Yeah,
a
no,
lot easier
it
to.
makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
So.
And you have the ability to stretch to more audiences that way also. 'Cause you
Mhm,
end up
mhm.
there's certain things that people like if I was to share something like exceptionally raunchy with Steph, she'd be like, "What is
But
this?"
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
right,
it's but if I send her some well, not to put too fine a point on it, but the one that
right.
I told you about, the video that I showed that I, mentioned with you, for those of you who haven't seen it, he does a video where he just screams eating and does his and I damn near passed out laughing, and when I tell you every single I send everybody first off, everybody, that clip, and what I do is I send it, and then underneath I write every single time, period. Because when that comes up, and God forbid, one of your compilations comes up that somebody's compiled a whole bunch of your stuff together. Like
Oh
I
my.
need to go to the bathroom. Like I can't do this. I'm not built for that type of stress. But it's one of those cool things where it's like you have the ability to reach more people because you have the ability to be seen by
Right,
more people. Like I
right,
wouldn't mind showing this to my
right,
wife when my 5-year-old is in the room or
right.
something like that. You know?
That's the biggest thing is, so we also do, we're on Cameo, and we get parents asking for, like, kids to wish them a happy birthday or
Mm,
to give them a pep talk, and then we're getting stuff to wish, my 40-year-old husband who loves your and I'm like, "There's such a difference," but it's like, there's such a
mm,
that's the biggest thing. I think, like, showing people that there is actual true humanity, like, not, or, like, humanity and, like, humility as well, because that's all it
mm,
takes, man. I mean, I am just a dude. I am nobody.
mm,
Anybody could, like, granted, yes, there is some type of, obvious talent if we're getting really technical, but, like, honestly, it was my wife one day, and she just was like, "Oh, this is funny." Boom, hits record, and then next thing you know, we're at 40,000 views. And then,
mm.
like, I go to work and, like, this one kid's bragging about how he has, like, 1,000 followers. I'm like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "Well, how many do you have?" I'm like, 50,000, I think." And he just, like, stopped talking. And everyone's like, "Oh," like, it's also like, it's also kind of embarrassing too, because 'cause I'll be at work and, like, we'll get new hires, and they're like, "Do you know who that is?" And I'm like, "Come on." And they're like, "That's the Bean Wizard. You
Mhm.
work with the Bean?" And I'm just like, "Come on, guys. Like, come on." Like,
That
that's not what it's about. Um, it's just really just it's just about making people laugh and just
yeah,
making people feel a certain type of way, and I think that's really what I really love to do,
yeah,
because
it's way better to be because it's any way you slice it, whether it's on cable TV or if it's
Right.
on TikTok or Facebook, it's all the
Yeah.
entertainment business. It's
Right.
all it's all dance monkey dance,
Right.
and to be able to do that, but still be able to delve deeper and have somebody
Yeah.
appreciate it's a I find it different for someone to like your content and for someone to appreciate your
Right.
content.
Right.
You definitely get the feeling. Kind of
Yeah.
occasionally it leads to the occasional parasocial relationship, which gets a little honky,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
any crosswinds with that? Have you had the occasional one that got a little too chatty or too close or anything like that? Yeah, yeah, there it is. He knows. He knows the one. He whoever it was, he's picturing you right now. Just so you know.
It's really sad because like we were talking with this guy and we just hit it off, man. Like we're like, oh, like you like conspiracy theories? Oh, I like conspiracy theories. Like oh, like you listen to this podcast? I listen to this podcast. And like he would talk all the time. We'd call each other. Like we were developing a really close friendship, and to the point to where he and his wife and daughter were gonna like come out to meet us and like spend time with us in the summer. And one day my wife sits me down. She's like, I'm like playing Fallout listening to a really scary podcast about a talking cat. Shout out to Blurry Creatures. And so I was like sitting there and I'm like really invested and I'm like killing these ghouls and all of a sudden I just feel this hand on me and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, and she's like, I have to tell you something. And like she's sitting there just like so worried. I'm like, what is it?
She meant every word of that.
Literally. And so she told me, and apparently this guy had sent her like a Snapchat
What?
because like Hope runs all of my accounts. So like every time if you're like you'll probably know this now, but every time you're interacting with it's not me, it's like her.
Okay,
So, because
fair.
just because it's easier for her to do that than it is for me, and
Mm,
she's way more organized with it than I am. But like there are definitely times where she's like, "Oh, this person wants to talk with you." Then that's when I'll be able to, like take over or whatever. But it also shows that we're so well entwined with our marriage because she's so easy to talk with, and like she can
right.
talk like me too, which is funny. But
You
so she
got
was
me.
this guy, yeah, this guy was Snapchatting and he sent her like a picture of him like pulling his pants down to where it's like right above
Mm,
his penis. And I was
can't do
like,
that.
and then
Can't
he
do that.
sent her an Uno reverse card. And I was
You
like,
son of a gun.
and so I'm
I'm
sitting
sending you
here,
a hand grenade.
yeah. So he's sitting there and I'm just like, okay, and she's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, okay, well, he lives like about a day's drive away. So what we're gonna do, and it was really like she was like almost frustrated with me because I wasn't like because I was upset for sure, but I was like
Sure.
if he was closer, I'd be more mad.
Sure.
Like and so what ended up happening, I called him. I said, hey, that's not cool. You're never to do that again, and I'm gonna cut ties with you, and you're not gonna come up and visit us, and you're blocked on everything. And I just want you to know that I really hope you get help and that you really figure this out because it's not cool, man. Like, you
Mm,
never want to have those like really hard
yeah,
grown up
that's like an
conversations.
adult I was gonna say that's an adult conversation. Like I don't want to have adult conversations. What are you talking about?
I'm not that like. I mean, I am an adult for sure, but like having those, I was like, that was probably one of the hardest conversations I've ever had to
Mm.
have. And I deal with like, I deal with murderers, like rapists, all that stuff. And I would have rather had a
But
conversation
this,
with
but
them.
this is real.
Yeah, this is real. This involves somebody who I care about and who we had grown into a relationship.
Mm.
And yeah, so that's the big one. And that was one that was like really difficult.
Don't show your Wang Chung to people. People,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
not. That's it. You started over where on TikTok or
Yeah, so I think it was like a year or two after it transferred over from Musically to TikTok.
okay. That was like
I think it was
21.
2018, it was Musically, and then it switched over from Musically to TikTok. I think it was like 2020 or
2020 or something like
2019.
that. Yeah, because I jumped in at like the end of 2020, I think.
Okay, so I think so it was really funny because Hope, my wife, who's incredible, she started and she already had like 100,000 followers on her
Really?
TikTok. Um,
Wow.
yeah, she's actually a comedic genius. She is
Everybody go follow
hilarious.
Hope on TikTok.
Well, no, because then what happened was is that she had her we so she just used her own page as the Bean Wizard page. because
Everybody go
yeah.
follow Bean Wizard on TikTok.
So, but yeah, she had a ton of like followers on there, and she went viral a couple times. Yeah, so she already like had a
She
really
was
good
doing work.
idea. Yeah, she was, and
Then she
so
donated it to you, huh?
no, she's like she realized like, oh man, I think we can do something with this because we would do like little videos here and there, but our biggest video that we hit was the "You want some beans" video, where it's literally me in my underwear with my gut hanging out and I just ask her for beans, and that's it. And that video got 25 million views. So much so that like, the like so many famous people commented on that. Like Tommy Lee's wife at the time commented on that. Like all these people like that have like, you're like, what the heck? Like,
That's amazing.
you know, um, but yeah, definitely before that. So we came in, that was like mid 2001 because
Mm.
yeah, so like that was so we really like we were doing TikTok for like a little bit in the 2020 and we got married in October and that was like right after where we started picking up, got really big. So
That's that's awesome.
we were able to pay our rent with that video.
Boy.
It was like crazy.
Okay.
Well, then also it helped too because she had that creator fund. She had also made she had so many followers at the time that she was able to just right onto that, you
That's
know,
wild.
and that's just like, oh, so yeah.
It's a good wagon to hitch to, huh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. But it also is crazy, man, because you look at it and like you have like that open door, it's like that
Mm.
big. And you're
Mhm.
just like, like we're not even running towards it, but we hit it at the right time.
That's it. Sometimes it's just you just biding your time. Just bide your time
Right.
till they have one video. I mean, that's definitely what happened
Right.
with us over here. We had, I was just making goofy content, just stuff that was just kind of bringing peace to myself after some of these tours.
Yeah.
And then one day I made the first no video with this like weird serpentine thing that looked oddly phallic, and I just called the camera and I said no to it, and I went to sleep.
Yeah.
And I got a text at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, buddy, you need to get on your TikTok like right now because your video is exploding. And I'm like, oh well, my last video had a whole 500 views. What's this one like 4,000? That's fantastic. And I looked at it, it was at like this was maybe 6 hours later. It was at like 4 million. And I was like, this is
Whoa.
insane. What the hell? What do I do?
Yeah.
What, you
Yeah.
don't know what to do. You don't know how to
Yeah.
act. So I just went on. I just went on the video and I just started commenting back on everything. I'm like, what do I do? I'm
Right.
panicking.
Yeah. 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 You're like, what is this? I
What
want those
do you
15
do?
seconds.
And then it's they say, just rinse and repeat, just freaking try to
Right.
keep it going, try to ride the
Well,
wave, and it just kept going.
literally, like we got to a point to where we were like, it's definitely weirder now because I really don't know what's going on. TikTok is such like a odd amalgamation of like a media platform
Mhm.
because 1 second, like you'll be like, boom, here. And then you'll ride it and like you post day after day after day after day. And then it just boom,
Thunk.
or like it's just the weirdest thing, like, right now, we're really struggling because it's like we'll put things up and, like, it doesn't promote us or it doesn't do anything or it doesn't allow us to post because it'll take it down, and then you're just like so, like, Hope is constantly, like, sitting there, like, trying to hit, like, post, 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 and it doesn't work, and she's like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, don't you love when it does that thing where, like, the video doesn't upload, and
Right.
then it's like, "Oh, I don't that's it. It's gonna fall into the
Yeah.
algorithm hole." You can guar I
Yeah.
could bet I could put money on it. It's like, it's like if the video uploads in a pace when it's normally uploading and then
Mhm.
it's done, it's good. And this
Yeah.
is for you guys who make content, if you'll notice this too. If you post a video and you're like, why is this video not uploading? Why is it sitting at 61%? Why is it sitting at 61%? Why is it sitting at
Right.
62%? That video, listen, just delete it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not worth keeping it up because you just guaranteed yourself a 3 minute, a 3 view video.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
wildest thing.
definitely like I mean, but then there've been other times, like, there was one video we did and we hit, and it wasn't really anything big, but this one guy made a comment just, like, talking about my body in, like, a really demeaning way,
Perfect.
and the guy from Catfish,
Oh shit.
the famous brother, the dark hair brother, I forget his name, and I feel terrible. If he listens to this, I'm so sorry, but he goes, "Hey, don't pick on him." And then someone's like, "Dude, this guy comes to his aid?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do. I love the bean whiskey." I'm like, "What the heck?" You
I
know,
love that. Oh, yeah, I love
it's
the Bean Wizard. Get off of him.
yeah, it's crazy. You're like, what? Like we've had people like this one guy, he was working on the Ozarks and because we'd go live and he was like, dude, I work as a grip on the Ozarks. And I showed, Jason, your videos. I'm like, oh, Jason, cool. He's like, Jason Bateman. And I'm like, he's like, he laughed. And I was like, that's crazy. Like
That's nutty.
it is.
I had someone from, I won't say his name, but I'll say that from the Drew Barrymore show, who I'm mutuals with. He's like, "I'm gonna show Drew your content,"
What?
and, I'm like, "Hopefully, hopefully it amounts to something." I haven't heard back, but, like,
Yeah.
just the fact that somebody who's associated with a show like that, like, something that's
Right.
like, that's real life, Like,
Yeah.
I always say that I'm just some goober who's fortunate enough to be able to pay a
Mm.
cell phone bill on time,
Yeah. Yep.
and
Yeah. No,
but, like, that's
that's
real life. That's an actual camera run,
right. And I think that's the mentality to have, that you are somebody who's just trying to pay your phone bill on time. Because
It's
as
fucking
soon as you
wild.
get that, like, influencer like, obviously, you gotta have drive, of course.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
if you have no humility with that drive, then you're just gonna be just like
yeah,
all those other terrible influencers who have no
yeah.
heart. You know what I mean?
People tell me all the time, they're like, how'd you get to be an influencer?" I'm like, I'm not trying to influence anybody."
Yeah,
I'm
literally.
like, I'll call myself a content creator because I do create content, but,
Right.
like, I feel like influencer, like, "Get ready with me,"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're not getting ready with me. I'm in a t-shirt, bro. Get off me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just the guy who puts his pants on the wrong leg all the time, you know?
100% of the time. That's
Yeah.
that's absolutely me.
If I can put my shirt on the right way, I'm okay.
So your content it's a strong deviation from your career. Obviously,
Right.
there's nothing law enforcement related basically in your content. Is there anything that drives one into the other? Do aspects of your career trickle in as maybe like your work ethic or things like that, or vice versa into your career life from cross platform to cross platform?
So I like thinking about that question is more or less like for me having just like it's good to have something to blow steam off, like having all that like come home from a hard day. Like, don't get me wrong, there are days that I don't want to do it. And like, yeah, I mean, Hope will be the first to attest. It's like pulling teeth, because it's like, I'm so tired and stuff. But when you get into it, you're like, oh, like this is actually fun, funny, and so it's like, it's more or less for me, like having that ability to work in what I do and to come home and to make that content that's lighthearted, to make those videos for people who are like having a terrible day, like, like, oh, like I was at the lowest point in my
Really?
life. We've had people all the time that are like, oh, I almost killed myself.
Aren't
And then
those
I
the
saw
best
your video.
emails?
Yeah. You're
That's
like, you saw my
unbelievable.
video? Or even the little kid who's like, they're like, oh, my daughter, she lives in Alaska. She draws Bean Wizard pictures all the time. She sent us a care package, and she's like, I bought you these, and they're like these little flowers. Like, you're just like, this girl is like literally being the most wholesome she can be and just so kind. And like, she's like, I've impacted her life. Like, we've impacted her life. We had one of my favorite stories is this kid, he was going through chemo, I believe it was, and he loves baseball. And he was so sad that he couldn't, sorry, that he couldn't play baseball. And so we went out and we bought him a baseball and I signed it like the Bean Wizard. And we get a message back from his dad, and his dad said that he was like over, like he was just holding the ball and like looking at it. You would think like a pitcher played for a major league team signed it, and he then started doing so much better with his treatment. And I'm just like, like what? Like what the heck? Like that's crazy.
The
Like
impact you can make in
it's
this world is
oh,
so unbelievable. Yeah,
it is
I never thought that I would ever be in a position where I would have any type of reach whatsoever.
right, right.
Everything that I've ever done, like, when I moved out of my house, I moved 1 block and 1 block away. And then when my mom got sick, right back. So I'm back in the
Oh
house
yeah,
that I grew up in because
right.
I take care my wife and I take care of my mom.
Oh wow,
It's like everything that I've known is centralized.
right.
To have people reach out to you, and
Yeah,
I'm sure you get them every day, people that reach
right.
out to you and just tell you, "Listen, I was having a really bad day. I was having a
Yeah,
really bad day, and that changed today
right,
because I saw your video," and it could be something stupid. It might not even be
right.
something that I'm prominent in,
Yeah,
and they take right off. It just
it,
changed, and they always come when you need them. Like, those
yeah.
emails
To
always show
get
up when
that,
you need them.
that is so true. Because you're just like, oh man, like oh, like we're not doing good on this video. This had been a really rough week for videos. And, you know, of course, you get discouraged sometimes. Like, if you
Mhm.
didn't get discouraged, then, you know, you're not like,
You don't care.
yeah, you don't care. But then you get those, like, I just saw your video. And that video only had, like, you know, 25,000 views. But they're like, I saw this video and it saved me. It made me laugh. And it's my favorite. And you're just like, hey, like, all right, you know, that's like the next, like,
Hell yeah.
you know, like, it's,
It
yeah.
gets you over. It gets you through.
Right, and it's just crazy because, like, I'm forever connected. You're forever connected to that individual because, like, in that moment, you're able to offer them something that was real and a genuine and a feeling that they needed,
Mhm.
and you're just like, "What?" It's just such a crazy thought, like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know, it's like
It's the wildest thing because I know when I started
it's
this, it was a very self-centered thing because it was for me. And like I said, if somebody else found it funny, that's cool. But I'm doing this as my own adjustment to my own mental health and my own well-being to
right,
do something lighthearted after I come back from a CPR call, after I come back from a stroke patient. This is something that's making me laugh. And to know that it's altered courses in people's
yeah,
lives. To have
yeah,
people email me and say, I didn't know what I was doing. I just got out of a halfway house and I'm going for my EMT, and the reason I'm doing it is because I saw your content."
dude.
I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. How dare you like me that much? You know, it's like what, you know, to be able to talk to people in New Zealand and talk to
Yeah,
Australia. Like
right,
who
yeah,
what? This is insane. How
yeah,
hi? You know, it's just to be able to, and it's not that you're touching them, they're touching
right,
you too, you
yeah,
know, it's amazing. It's just such a
yeah, it is.
gift. So
It is a huge gift, and that's what I think that's what it needs to be looked at as because, like, a lot of times I feel like people are like, "Oh my gosh, like, you saved me, you changed my life, you know, like, you impacted my life," and you're like, "You've impacted mine," you know,
mhm,
like, that's insane. That's and
yeah,
I think, like, having that thought process, like, "Man, you know, I wanna be an EMT now because of you." You're like, "I made you choose a career path because all I
like,
was just being myself?"
you
Like
know, 30 years or
right.
25 years is how long you're in a career if you choose
Yeah,
it as a career, you know, that's
right.
because of me? How
Mhm.
dare you?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like
Stop.
like, don't hold me to that highest standard, you know?
It's just the wildest, it's just such a blessing, and, like, to go out and be recognized for the things that you do and for the content
Right.
you make. It's and I'm as an EMT, I have to go for continuing education, like, I'm sure you do CEU type stuff as well probably for certain things. At the very least, you do CEUs in being a CPR
Right.
certification, so
Yeah.
but for us, we have to I go to, like, an EMS convention, and, the one in New Jersey is actually coming up, and walking through there, it's wild because those are my people. Last year, I went down, I had to walk through with security. It was crazy, and it's just like, "You guys like me?" Like
Yeah.
like, you could
Yeah.
either like me or hate me because, you know, I'm making content that's centered for the longest time around what we do.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
"So they're holding me to a what we do standard."
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
for my own type of people to really enjoy the content is
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
That's also because I mean, because especially both you and I, we both know the weightiness that comes with like first responder, law enforcement side of things. And like those are some dark, dark, dark job titles. And definitely having those moments of like, oh man, like what, you know, like it's just like, I don't know. Cause people like people will be on lives, they're like, "What does he do for a job?" You're like, "Oh, I'm a correctional officer." And you're like, "Dude, be careful." Like, I remember when I got the job, one of my good friends from high school called me. He's like, "You know, I had a really close friend. He ended up killing himself because he was a correctional officer." And like, all these people are like so concerned, and you're just like,
Mhm.
wow, like, you know, like, thank you. But I think at the same time, for me, it's like, I want to be able to be, very like, it's not as bad. You know what I mean? Like, granted, where I work is nowhere near where some people work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you wanna come
compared to
down to
other
Newark,
places,
come hang out in Newark
yeah.
or,
Y
Patterson?
y yeah, literally, you know, and then I'll probably, you know, change my tune a little. But, like, that's where I'm very fortunate too because I'm
Mhm.
able to have that ability to where I'm having such a incredible facility, you know, that isn't like other facilities. And so I think that helps too. But like people like you're so happy for a correction officer. You're so like you love life. Like I can't believe it. You know, like wow, like you inspire me. It's just like, oh my gosh, you know,
It's a
like
wild
Jesus.
feeling. Since your content's grown, so you said you basically grew you grew your TikTok. Well, you grew off of a TikTok, and you piggybacked off of
Yeah.
that one, and then developed and blossomed this beautiful, this it's hard to even say, because it's this whole amalgamation that comes to fruition when you're able to branch out to different, 'cause then you're on Instagram, obviously, you're on Facebook, obviously,
Right.
YouTube just YouTube hates me. I don't what did I do,
Yeah.
Google? What
Yeah.
what have I done?
Yeah. Yeah. Did I
But,
not wish you happy birthday?
did I not click on the stupid animations every time you change them? Like, what do I gotta
Dude,
do?
side note about that is what I hate is when I'm on my phone and I go to scroll up, and I hit it, but I click the animation. I'm like, I know, it's like,
Now I
a
gotta watch the
birthday
stupid
or
balloons.
yeah, yeah,
That's right,
yeah,
Google. I said stupid balloons.
yeah,
Not that you're gonna pay attention to me anyway.
right, right.
But you've managed to blossom this into so many different facets. Do you have any? Is there any other ways that you've expanded your channels? Have you done like a merch line? Have you done anything outside this? Have you done any? Have you taken your content and done anything extracurricular with it? I guess is what I really love to know.
So yeah, like we've done. So yeah, we did some merch, which was really fun. That was a really good merch idea that we had, and I think what it was is it wasn't like it was a good time for us to learn a lot about like who we are, especially as a channel, and like
Mm.
how like okay, it says that we have 2.4 million followers, and oh, I can sell at least out of those like 1% of those followers. That's like 20,000 or whatever, however math works, whatever,
Whatever
for
mathings works.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you're like, okay, that's 20,000. And you said like, okay, out of that, like 1%, that's like, 200. Okay, like I know I could sell 200 shirts, you know. But then like going through that, you're just like, oh wow, I only sold like 1,000. Like, oh, okay, that's really cool, like that's awesome. But even like having that journey, we definitely did that, which was cool. We'll probably do that again, but definitely change it up a little bit. We really, I know that we liked working with the guy we did that with. Other than that, I extracurricular, no, nothing really like big that I can think of.
I mean, that's still pretty amazing. Just to even have the opportunity
Yeah,
to just grow your platform and turn it into something. Because
right,
like we're blessed enough that we can say that we make,
right,
we make a couple dollars through our socials. Like it's definitely, something that can be
yeah,
used as a nice supplementation. But to be
right,
able to do something a little bit on top of that's always just amazing. I personally, when I do my merch, I price it in a way where I'm like, I don't care to make money on my merch. I'm just like,
yeah,
I just want you to have something cool from 502
right,
Apparel. Just enjoy it, have fun with it. Like, in what world do I deserve to have my name on a T-shirt or something
yeah.
like that?
Dude, that's so good. I love that humility. Whoops, sorry, my phone. I love that
That's the
humility.
ceiling I wanted to see.
Yeah, don't look up there. That's my bean collection.
The
Uh,
beans.
oh man,
That's
my
amazing.
beans.
Just takes the foil hat off and the
Yeah.
beans and
I finally made a really good one, and I was like, "Oh, this is
finally.
really yeah, finally." Because it's always like you put the tin foil on, and you're like, "This isn't even tin; it's aluminum," and then like you have it on, and it like cuts your head. You're like, "Oh no!" Oh, like why are you bleeding blood? It's like what's happening?
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's like there's actually like a lot. Like it's so funny because the people I work with, they're like, "Why do you still work here?" And I'm always like, "The insurance, of course." Like,
That's
y-
listen, that's
that's
that's the
yeah,
reason.
yeah.
The
I
insurance
mean,
and the pension, man.
right.
I
But
love where I work. I wouldn't leave my place
yeah,
for the world. Not for the
yeah,
world.
dude, we were like, side note, shout out to where I work. Like, we were able to have our kid for like $200, where
Same.
everyone,
Zero
dude,
zero
yeah,
dollar check.
dude, where everyone that like my family that I know, they've had their kid. Oh, I have to pay $9,000. Oh, I have to pay 15,000. You're like, oh, like I can't believe that. Like this is amazing.
Shout out to Direct 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally. My major, one of my majors, he had to have hip surgery, and he paid $175.
Crazy.
And he got the bill, and it was like 75,000. And I'm like, oh,
You ever see it when it's like your bill is $62,000, insurance paid 1,900. It's
yeah,
like, what? You were gonna
yeah.
charge me $62,000? But it's fine because my name's not Aetna, you can charge them. My name's not Blue Cross, you're gonna charge me $62,000?
That's so funny, man. Yeah, as far as extracurricular, I can't really think of anything else. I think the big thing was just like we really need to figure out how to like get in the monetization, I guess, a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I think
Fa
too, like, what's really cool with us is that we're not really, like, in it to make money.
Mhm.
'Cause we definitely could, but it's like, I think we just like doing it for fun, you know?
Mhm.
I think if like, I don't want ever this to happen, but if I was to ever lose my job or something happened to where I couldn't do my job, then we'd probably look into that a little more seriously. But, like, as of right now, like, we just do it for fun, and I think that's why it's grown so organically. Back in March of last year, I signed up with Underground Entertainment. So they're out of California. Shout out to Diego and Aaron. Um,
What's up, boys?
they're my managers, but they're really cool. But yeah, we did that, and they're like, for you to grow your content that high just without anything is so impressive. And like these are people who've dealt with like actors, actresses signing like multi-million-dollar deals, like, and they were like, we want you on our team, and it's like, oh wow, like okay, cool, and so that's been fun. That's been really fun. And that's been like really slow, which I'm all for the organic process, man. Because if you try to put something in the microwave and it blows up, it gets big. It's good, but it's only good for a little bit. But if you like let it sit there and like actually like build itself, it's even better.
Mhm. For 100%. Which actually is a good segue to so your content has migrated both from platforms and in its own evolution within itself. You have everything from father-daughter stuff, family-daughter
Mhm.
stuff, and everything else that you've managed to create. What's the evolution of your content? What do you think the next Bean Wizard official type of content is gonna be? Or is there a migration that you wanna take your channel in general? Is there like an end goal?
So I definitely, man, that's such a good question because it's really like it could be anything, you don't want to give that generic like, oh, anywhere, but like literally like,
Sky's the limit.
yeah, um, but I could definitely see the Bean Wizard being a like, I think it'd be really funny to have like a Bean Wizard like children's television show with like
Mhm.
that type of idea. I think that'd be really cool having like separate beans that like give out like facts of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So so that I could migrate to that. Definitely, I think we've talked about migrating over to try to YouTube, be a YouTuber, like get that going. But as far as that, I think it's more or less just like coming up with like other crazy ideas, really like just trying to make it more not like no, I guess more relatable, but maybe not. I don't know. That's yeah. There's some stuff in the works for sure where I would love to see myself is I think it'd be really fun to be able to like at some point write, do some writing or some stuff, be able to have a hand in that. I think even doing like honestly, my dream is to have like my own podcast, ironically, because I love podcasts. And so that would definitely be it. But as of right now, we don't really think about that much. It's just
Just
like
enjoy the
really,
moment.
yeah, just enjoy the moment,
I hear you.
But I think being present is so important too.
So
Because
important. And being able to do it and
yeah.
encompass the things that really matter in life, because this for those of you who don't create content on what I would consider an exceptionally regular basis,
Mhm.
it's a job. And it's fun and it's lighthearted, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes
Right.
it's neither. Sometimes it's neither,
I would
and
actually
so
say most of the time it's not,
yeah, it's a
like,
lot of work.
yeah, it
You
is,
guys are demanding.
yeah, for sure. But I think too is just like having that ability, like you come home from an 8-hour shift,
Mm.
and you're like, oh man, you're like, hey, we said we'd do this, and you're just like, yep, and it can get a little taxing of things, and you're just like, oh man. But then like, you hit slumps sometimes. You're like, "Oh, is this funny? No, it's not funny.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, is this funny? No. But then why did I get into our pool in the middle of October and it's freezing and I can't feel my legs? No one laughed at it. You're just like, like, what am I doing?
I hear that loud and
Um,
clear.
uh,
Loud and clear. It's a lot of going through the analytics and,
right.
learning what is actually working for you. Because there's
Right.
the specific content that I love to make, fortunately, not unfortunately, I guess, but is great for TikTok because
Right.
it fits in the monetization
Yep.
area and they push it a little harder, but when I tell you, it is a nightmare everywhere
Right.
else. Everything on Facebook 15, 25 seconds. If it's not in that area, they don't want it. Yeah, for
The
the most
thing
part.
the thing with us is, like, that's where most of our, like, videos have really fallen is that 15 to 20 second. And,
Mm.
like, so, like, we've been doing a lot better on Facebook than we have on TikTok, and it's like, "Oh, man," like
Facebook's algorithm is just a little more predictable. I always say that with TikTok, the algorithm's just it's not yours to understand, it's just yours to obey. Just
Yeah.
do it. Just do it and put it out.
Yeah, literally, that's very, very true. Go ahead.
I actually push primarily to Facebook now,
Oh,
and,
really?
I set up a cross-posting schedule, and I cross-post everything to
Oh,
TikTok and
wow.
Instagram, so it's like
Really?
yeah, Facebook's been a good boy. Thank you, Facebook. But,
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Facebook is actually gonna pass TikTok this month,
You
100%.
think
Yeah,
for you
100%.
or just in
Yeah.
general?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me,
for you.
100%, and I've
Yeah.
been doing TikTok since 2020, but really since 2020 to, like, mid 22,
Right.
and Facebook has been aggressively since March.
Wow. Wow. Since March? Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, like, that's
Well,
amazing.
it's nuts. It's been what,
That's
but I've also completely changed how I was posting. I was posting to TikTok, and then I was sporadically just throwing stuff here, and then
yeah, yeah.
I really sat down and I went through the algorithm and I
Yep.
talked with a couple people, and I'm like, if there's a little bit of money to be made, let's figure it out and at least
Yep.
maximize the effort. And
That's
it's yeah, there's a lot.
That's so funny you say that because that's exactly kind of what we did. And then like, this brings up actually a question because I don't really often get to talk to I get to talk to creators, but like someone of your caliber of having those bigger numbers and places to whereas
I have a
like
caliber, guys.
no, you do. I mean, for sure. Like my wife's like, you need to be on this show. Not that I didn't want to be for sure, but she's like, you need to be on the show because he has like 1.5 million followers. And I'm like, whoa, that's huge.
I
You
have
know,
way more than that.
That's I know. So then, like, it was like crazy, and so it's like having that opportunity to ask this question is really cool. So then it's like, at what point do you give up on TikTok because it's no longer utilizing what
S-
you need it for, or do you like stay
So
with
it's not
Facebook? What
fair.
do you do?
Yeah, so I TikTok, like I said, if I make my normal length videos, and they might hit, they might not,
Yeah,
but as long as it's in that monetization window, at least I'm gonna make shekels from it, you know?
yeah,
Facebook does not have that. Facebook, for those of you who don't know, Facebook, if you're in the monetization program over there, they I, maybe 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. I don't know how long the video minimum is,
yeah,
but what they will tell you is that at 15 seconds, they'll push your video out more. Now, listen, I have videos that are sub 15 seconds, and all of those videos say your content might be withheld a little bit. I don't know what that number would be if my number was over 15 seconds, but let me tell you, those videos are doing just fine.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
they do well. And Facebook, if you're in that monetization program, Facebook takes care of you. Yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, I don't give up at all on TikTok. What I basically do is if I showed you, I don't have my iPad down here. If I showed you and I will, I'll grab it for you because
Right.
now we buddies, so I can show you all the
Yeah.
things.
There you go.
My cross posting schedule looks like a psychopath.
Really?
It looks like a beautiful mind.
Wow.
It's wild, and I do all these different postings, and I have an app now, but
Right.
previously I didn't. So I have an app now where I can cross post to Instagram and TikTok at
Right.
once. YouTube doesn't want to do that necessarily because YouTube requires a shorter caption. So it's like
Yeah.
it's really annoying.
It's yeah. YouTube is a whole different. Dude, YouTube is just a
Also, what's
whole
really
different.
interesting is that I use Buffer as my cross posting app. TikTok only lets you post 5 hashtags.
Yeah, they
Bu-
took that away because
Buffer
that's
will let you post as many as you want.
really
And I think, and I can't prove it, I don't know for sure. I think that's why TikTok did it. I bet you TikTok's got a little something with Buffer,
yeah,
and they're like, okay, you could do 5 with us, but if it's on Buffer, all those hashtags will go over.
really.
Yeah, so
So
all my hashtags are 30 hashtags long.
and wow, what man? Now we're gonna be talking about.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what do you like hit on a view on a TikTok video nowadays?
It's unpredictable. TikTok has lately been super unpredictable, but I can pull up my account real fast, and I can tell this is screaming music. When I tell you that stuff is unpredictable,
Yeah,
where is okay? 31,000, 23,000, 21,000, 915,000. It's like, bro,
dude,
you're lying to me. Like you're doing that on
yeah,
purpose.
but like that's what I'm talking about. Like you go up. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom,
You
you're
know,
just like, what? And then, cause like you don't make as much as you do on like TikTok as you do on Facebook. Like
hmm
we don't like, I don't know if you put this in this part in here, but we don't even monetize on Instagram because we
I'm
can't.
not either. I don't know why I'm not. I really don't know what the problem is.
But we almost looked into that and like it was really bad. My wife almost signed something and she was like chat GBT asking it. And it's like, yeah, don't do this. It's not a good idea. So we're like, oh no.
Yeah, like I was like being verified on Meta lets you could actually call. You could talk to Meta on the phone.
Oh wow.
And it's easiest to do it through Instagram, I found. It's like just like
Right.
like the path to it is easiest.
Yeah.
But I almost want to hit him up, be like, "Hey, listen, man, not trying to start any problems. Listen, I want no problems.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
why am I not getting monetized on Instagram? Like, what do I got? Like, and
Yeah.
people are definitely monetized there.
Right. Like when we first started out, we had, man, so I
Yeah,
had,
you used to make money on Instagram.
right. So we had my best friend, his wife was into like, I think she was either account managing, I want to say, and they live out in California. And so she was saying like, with your numbers, you should at least be making like $10,000 a month. Like, because people on
Yep.
Instagram, like that's what they're making. And so we're like, what? Like, not that
Yeah.
we're in it for the money or anything, but we're like, that's
It
crazy.
does not hurt.
No, and so then we're like trying to figure it out, and then we went on the other night. It was even last night, and there was like, oh, if you post on Carousel, like you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, and you're like, this seems like a lot of weird
Yeah, and it's
stuff.
so strange. And then, but if you go into the videos, it used to
Yeah.
literally delineate,
Mhm.
how much you're making. Like I
Right.
had videos and I called just like I told you, I called up Instagram and they had no idea that that was a thing. I
Right.
have the text conversation and they're like, I had no the person I was speaking with was like, I had no because it was called ads on reels. For anybody who doesn't know, it was called ads on
Yeah.
reels. And
Right.
they're like, do you have a screenshot of this? I'm like, no, I don't have a screenshot of it. I went into my photo album. I typed ads on reels and I did. I had taken a screenshot to send to one of my buddies. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm not making this up. Pay me. And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah,
Literally.
that's not a thing anymore." I was even able to go back into my emails and find where I got accepted into the program.
What?
I clicked on it and it was like, "This program is no longer active." And
Oh,
I was like, "What is this?"
yeah.
I was like, "This is sucky."
Great, dude.
And like
Yeah,
it
that
wasn't a
is
lot of money by any stretch of the
right.
imagination, but it wasn't 0 and anything
Right.
more than
Yeah.
0.
Right. But I mean, when you put them all together, it's really, it's not bad. You
Yeah.
know, I think for us, like we love TikTok, you know.
Mhm.
Like we were really upset when the whole thing was about to be like deleted and everything like that.
Oh, I
But
downloaded
then
every video off of it. So it was a
yeah,
nightmare.
but then at the same time, you're like, did that influence what's happening right now?
I think
Like,
so.
I mean, oh man, I know you said you didn't want to get political, so if you want to, you
No,
can
send
cut
it.
this next part out.
Send whatever
But
you like.
I wonder if because you looked at there are people who backed Trump. Like I know Mark Zuckerberg was one, and I know he was also dealing with the TikTok president as well. But I'm like,
Mhm.
is there something behind that? Because it's like I find that it's so much harder now to make money off of TikTok because things don't hit as like they used
Yeah.
to.
It's like QVC over there now.
Right. Yeah, literally. Like, dude, we had Barbie videos where I was playing with my daughter. 10 million views. Like, and it was just crazy. And do not get me wrong. I am not upset because I'm not making money off it or anything. It just seems so weird to me because I know that there are people who use that as a job,
Mhm.
and that who like, or who really enjoy what they do. And it's just like that. It just seems so odd.
Yeah, and it all
And
happened real fast.
so fast, because then, like, so as you said, to circle back to our conversation earlier about how you started on TikTok and then you went to Facebook and you really, like, yeah, we'd throw a few Facebooks here and there, 11,000 views. The next thing you know, we hit one video and we're up to like, I think we're at 150,000 on Facebook now. And that was in a growth of like 6 years. Sorry, 6 months, not years. But, it's like, what the heck? Like, what's
And
happening?
there's what's nice is that they're a slightly older community,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're so the face. Listen, I love all my guys, all of you,
right,
everybody in the Batch 502 community. Listen, I'm not knocking any of you knuckleheads, right?
right,
You're all amazing.
yeah,
Facebook lately has just been so motivational and so positive.
right.
It's just such a dream, It's
It
so
is,
cool.
it is. It's funny because you have a lot more like,
Cat's gonna come say hi.
Yeah. You have a lot more. I think it's not like because I found too like you a lot of people actually are way meaner on Facebook than they are on TikTok, which is so
Yes, they
funny.
can be.
And so you have that, but then again, you're like, oh man, like because is Facebook still popular? Is TikTok still popular? Like, are these platforms still popular in the eyes of the average person? And that's a huge thing you think about, because not that you don't want to not post, but at the same time, you're like, okay, like, is it worth it still, or what's not worth
Mhm.
it? Like, you have all these questions and all these like unanswered questions. It's just
You just have to kinda pick and like, I forever, TikTok was my primary platform.
right.
7 PM, I would post 3
Yep.
times a week. I
Yeah.
would only post 3 times a week, so I didn't
Yep.
want my videos to step on each other. Very super regimented. And then it
Right.
just kinda it trickled, and I wasn't thrilled with it, and I would cross post to the other platforms. Now
Yeah.
Facebook is where I post. I post 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day if I really have something that I wanna get out.
Right.
And I'm thrilled. I'm just so happy to be there, and
Yeah.
they're amazing.
And then in my mind, I'm like, is that sustainable?
Mhm. Yeah,
Because I don't know, because it's so like social media is such a weird changing environment. Like
sure is.
you're talking like, okay, Facebook's been around for like, what are they 20 years old?
Probably about that since you had to have a college email for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then you had, okay, then before that, you had MySpace, which everyone was all about MySpace, but then it just
I
stopped.
loved MySpace.
I wasn't able to have a MySpace growing up, ironically. So I use all my friends that like,
Mm,
"Oh, wait, let me change your song on your profile." Like, "Oh my
yeah, I mean,
gosh,"
I got 7 years on you, so yeah, MySpace
Yeah,
was life.
right, and then it just fell through the cracks. And then you have Facebook, and then you had Musical.ly, and then Musical.ly changed into TikTok, and then Instagram was bought out by Facebook. You're like, "Okay, like, so where is this heading?" Like,
Mhm.
and what route is it taking? It's like it's really interesting, you know?
It's ever evolving.
It is for sure. It is for sure. And that's just yeah, I don't know. It's really just like having these conversations with someone because you don't really like talk about it.
Yeah,
I haven't really thought about it if I'm being completely honest with you. So a lot of
yeah.
it's like, wow, like what's happening?
We'll do a brainstorming, workshop. I got a couple of pretty amazing creators that I'm knuckled up with, so we could
Please.
do a big old workshop.
That'd
We'll
be
knock out ideas.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Because then also like side note is this I have a guy who he's a podcaster. He's somebody who's like, go, 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 go all the time. And he has his own like social media app. He created it. He has his own like following. This man was able to leave from where he lived in Pennsylvania down to Tennessee. He has like a little office space where he does his podcast. And you're just like, holy cow. Like, so like he has his social media and that's all that. And you're just like, is that the future route?
Mm,
Like, what is it?
the reason why I love this podcast is because 'cause I'm able to talk to like-minded folk
Right.
who have been in that, 200 club, who still every so
Right.
often ends up in maybe not 200s, but, the
Yeah.
equivalent of why is my video not hitting? Because like,
Yeah.
when you have a following, a video hits 10, 15,000,
Right.
that's the equivalent of a
Right.
200 view video, like, it's miserable.
You're so right. I really wish my wife was in this podcast too because she'd know a lot more about the numbers and whatnot. Because I agree with you. Like we were used to like, I mean, I'm not bragging when I say this, but like a week we hit like probably at least 5 million views on a video every time we posted. And then
Oh,
now
I believe it.
when
I was at 300 of them.
right, but then now it's like we'll be lucky if we get 25,000.
It's crazy.
And you're just like, "What?" And, like, also, I'm like, "Okay, we have 2.4 million followers." Not saying that everyone has to watch our video at all. Please, no. I am not. But I think for me, I'm just more interested in the fact of it, like, what's happening, you know? Like,
It's because
okay
nobody goes over to the friends page. Nobody ever goes over to that. Like, I barely do. If you're not on my
right.
For You
Oh,
page
that's
on
true.
TikTok, I very seldom.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's really true. I mean, and I think but they changed that, right? Like, because the French page, that's who you're all associated with, right? That's who you're following and everything?
So, let me take a look. See, that's so loud.
It's so funny. You open it every time. It's
It's the
loud.
same video. "What was it in life you found someone" going to go ahead and turn the volume on that off. So yeah, so you have a For You page, you have the shop page, the following page, the
Yep.
explore page, and then the stem page is still there.
Wow. But before it was only the For You page.
And you're following.
Yeah. And I think that's why it was so easy because you could just, because now I find myself always still switch over to the shop page by accident, or I'll go to the
So
live.
annoying.
I'll go to the live page and I'm like, no, I do not want to watch them playing 10 hours of Minecraft, please. Like, you know, like, don't get me wrong.
Why are
Minecraft-
9,000 people playing Fortnite right now? What's happening?
Like, literally, come on. You
Now
know?
I'm going to go play Minecraft.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Oh my God. So we've been in the game for a little bit now. We've been bouncing on platforms. We've been bouncing on different concepts and different things that we've been working on in different projects. If you were to impart any wisdom, any pearls onto some of these creators who are either up and coming or maybe they haven't started creating and they're like, I don't know, man, it sounds like I like the idea, but I don't really know. So, you know, what kind of wisdom, what kind of pearls can you give these creators who are either up and coming or are stuck in that 200 club, anything like that? Because we've all been there. So
Right.
what stirs your coffee? How do we help these folks?
So I think the biggest thing is five things come to mind. And the first one is you have to have some aspect of humility. You have to be humble. You have to be okay with getting people who have, like, say, awful things, people who are not going to like you. And you have to be okay with that. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. But also you have to be okay with yourself doing the hard work. But if you're in a team, I know Hope, she does a lot of that. So she deals with all like the creepy messages. She deals with all like the, you know, the weird conversations and stuff. Which I'm very thankful for her because she definitely has more of a mental fortitude than I do. Because I just feel like, why are they sending me these pictures of each other kissing, like, and then saying they love, like, you're like, oh, you know, like.
My inbox is
Oh God.
my inbox is not a happy place.
Yeah, no, man.
Ugh.
It's so funny. But I think so humility is number one. Number two would be to have people don't care what people think about you, because if you do, then you'll be the biggest obstacle in your way for being a content creator, because that'll just constantly steal joy from you. Thirdly, if you have something that you're good at, or if you have a niche thing, so let's say, like, okay, you like playing with Hot Wheels or you collect Hot Wheels. Okay, people like Hot Wheels, right? So then, you know, go with that. Or maybe even build a racetrack that goes around your house and put a camera on that Hot Wheel or something like that. Like, find ways to incorporate what you do, you know?
That
like,
honestly sounds awesome.
Right. Oh yeah, dude. I love those videos. Every time I go in there, like, if it's a cleaning video,
Oh my God, the landscaping videos.
Dude, not even that.
No.
The rug videos or the restoring
rug videos.
Yes. Or the restoring rust, like the rusted antique. Oh, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'll sit there and
what is that? A rusted pasta machine? I'll take it. Let's do it.
Or there's a guy who I follow, and he fixes KitchenAids. And every time I go on there, I just sit there and I watch him. And he talks about, he goes, I went and I bought this whole warehouse full of them. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I love that. You know,
I watch a guy who, the channel's shout out to a person who does not know who I am. Wristwatch Revival, and he's a hobbyist. He's not technically a professional. He's a hobbyist. Yeah. And he gets people that send him usually high end watches, and you're repairs for him. And the watch is, you know, this big, but, you know, in real life it's you know, super tiny. It's crazy.
I love that. I think that, so yeah, if you have a niche, like, so for instance, like recently for my anniversary, Hope bought me a box of Magic the Gathering cards. And like, I recently have gotten really big into it. And I love the chase, the thrill of it. I love the idea that one day I might be able to find a big card that has a high value, you know, and just that chase. I also love the game. I think it's one of the best, like, and most intelligent games to play. Like, it really helps you think cognitively. And so she bought me a pack of like this Lord of the Ring line, and I got it, and people were coming out of the woodwork being like, I can't believe he's a Magic the Gathering player. Like, oh my word. Like, you know, that's another facet we can add, you know, like we could add that to our repertoire of like content for sure, you know. So like finding things that you like, that you enjoy, that you really are good at. Like, if you're good at painting, do a live of you painting. If you're not good at painting, do a live of you painting, but you like to draw, like, make it just like whatever you do, incorporate that. So I think that's big. So like, you know, the niche thing. Also having a constant like posting at the same time. You know, I don't know about you because it sounded like you were trying to not have them overlap, but with us, we always posted back in the day, we're posting at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, you know, where people are winding down, where they're on their phone mostly, where they're able to like just have some time to relax. We were posting at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very specific with when I
Right.
posted.
Yeah. So having that schedule, so have a schedule of when you post. And also fifth, but I think it's really important is just have fun, because if it's not fun for you, if you don't have enjoyment out of it, then it's not going to show. And I think the moment that it doesn't show is when it's just not going to do well.
You have to love it. You
Yeah,
have
you
to
really
love
do.
it. There's a lot of people that get into this just for they
Oh,
think they're
yeah.
going to get in it for money. They think they're going to get into it for fame. Let me tell you, if anybody thinks I'm famous, settle down. Right? But if you want to get into it for money, man, and listen, there's the one-off person that's going to make
Oh,
the
of
one
course.
video, and
Right.
listen, that's the exception, not the rule. I
Or,
promise.
or like that kid, that South African guy who'd always go,
Oh my god,
you know,
freaking yeah,
oh,
huge. He's the
yeah,
biggest. He's the biggest person on TikTok.
he made more money than almost as much money as the president of TikTok did. I think he's making $36 million dollars a year. And you're like, wow, you know, so yeah, some people definitely hit it, but like,
Mhm.
you're not going to be that one. Or if you
Yeah.
are, then that's amazing. You
Yeah.
know, then, you know, I wish you the best of luck,
Yeah.
but like, you know, if you're in it to make, you can always tell those people too, who are in it to just make money, you know, and it's just like,
For those of them who are hesitant to make the content,
yeah,
I'm like, just make the content. Just
right. Of
put it out
course.
there. You don't know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
you think you're special? You're not special. There's a million people just
Right.
like you that find the exact same thing
Yeah.
funny that you do. Just make the content.
Right. And then he goes back, there are like 7 billion people on this planet. You got to think like out of that 7 billion, you know, probably 4 billion of them have phones. You know, I don't know. That might be a huge number that I'm really wrong with. So it's like, well,
You
we won't focus on this.
gotta bet on yourself. You
Right.
have
Of
to bet
course.
on yourself. That's the biggest thing in the world. Just bet on yourself. Take a
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Who cares? Someone's
Like,
gonna laugh at you. Good.
yeah.
Someone's gonna make
It's
fun of you.
huge.
Good. That's engagement.
Yeah, it is. You know, you're doing something that that person doesn't like, or you're doing something that person loves. You're already
Mhm.
changing your outcome, you know, and
Whatever.
that's
Still
pretty
commented.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally first, you know, like that's like the biggest thing.
You know? But yeah, that's the best advice I can give anybody is
Yeah.
just bet on yourself. Just bet on
Yeah.
yourself, make the
Right.
and make the content. Who cares if
Yeah.
it doesn't hit? But if you
Yeah.
don't do it because you're enjoying it,
Yeah.
you're not gonna do it.
Right. You're not
You
going
know?
to do it.
You know, if
You know, like,
you don't deserve it when it's good, if you don't want it when it's bad.
right. Yes. That's huge. That's actually really, really good. I would wholeheartedly, you know, stand behind that, what you
Yeah.
just said.
Now, you
'Cause I
had
think,
something a really awesome opportunity come up that I remember, and I didn't even know you were going through this opportunity, but then you posted a video about it. You actually auditioned for SNL, yeah?
I did.
What? Who just auditions for SNL?
I do. I mean, you know, I'm so it's so funny. I think can anybody? I don't know how that process works.
Neither do I. No, I didn't do it.
But yeah, so the management company that I mentioned earlier, they reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, we think you'd really be good at this." And so like I got that, and I'm sitting there, and I have the form, I'm looking at it, and I have like chills all over my body. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like when I was 20 or even 18, I was like, "That's my dream. I'm going to go on that show.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going to do that. I'm going to do that. That's what I want. That's what I want for my life." I kind of always put it on the back burner. Then as I grew older, I was like, you know what? Like even like doing this TikTok has definitely satisfied that itch for sure.
Mm.
You know, like being funny, having people see what you're capable of is really cool, and making people laugh. Like that's the biggest thing. Like bringing joy to people is such a life-changing experience for sure. So I have it, and I'm sitting there, and like you would have thought that I am just like, I don't know. I was just so like crazy. And I told my wife and everything, and she's like, you should go for it. And I'm gonna be really honest with you. Because I think vulnerability is a very rare commodity these days, and I think it's important. But so I had the whole month of June to work on it, and it was due July 1st, my audition tape. And I did my audition tape on the 30th of June, and I didn't send it in on the 31st.
No.
Dude, I was like because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was like so scared and so like, I was like, okay. And I wrote a script. I had these 3 characters I did. I did a guy by the name of Michael Hackenmeyer who was trying to sell, like, it was a shopping network television show that was failing. And so he was trying to sell everything. I did that.
That's
And
awesome.
then I did Lord Vellum, who was returning to a high school reunion, and he was very posh, but he grew up very poor, and he was commenting on how everyone looked and smelled weird and what all that. And then I did one guy who had an allergy problem, and he went to a farmer's market, and he was allergic to everything. And so I did that, and I just did those 3 things, and it was 5 minutes, and I spent so much time researching and really like thinking about like, oh my word. And what's crazy is that once you send it in, you have a unsolicited YouTube link, and only who you send it to can watch it. So I sent it to my
Gotcha.
managers. So like you could go on and I could tell you the video, but you'd never find it because you don't have the link.
Got
And
it.
so I sent it to my managers, and then they sent it out, and I would like look on it and I'd be like, oh man, it's at like 11. Oh wow, it's at 22, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, now granted, having that opportunity is a once in a lifetime. Like that, I will never forget that. Even just having the people of SNL see my audition tape is just is such an incredible.
That's an amazing
It's
opportunity. It's amazing
it's a
experience. It's an amazing
huge thing.
experience.
It's an experience, like, and that's the biggest thing. And so I was like, that's amazing. But I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, if I didn't get it, that's okay. And I told my wife, I said, if I get this, you and I are going to have probably the most biggest conversation of our marriage about this. Because,
Yeah.
my
Now it's
wife
a
is
do we do this?
my wife is someone who does not want to live in New York. I don't even want to live in New York. So it was like, am I commuting? What does it look like? And I'm like, I don't even know if I got it yet. And so then like
I'm
July goes by.
25 minutes from the city and I don't want to live in New York.
Dude, it's crazy. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, all of July they have to watch all the videotapes. And so everyone's like, hey, did you get it? Did you get it? I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. Probably not, because if I did, that'd be awesome. But if I didn't, that's okay too. And then, all of a sudden July ends and August comes by and I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, so now they're reaching out to people who they want to see. And so I'm starting to read. And then I realized that all these like big name people got cut from the show. And I was like, oh my
Oh,
word,
shoot.
like, I'm like, that's crazy. And then what do you know? I'm sitting there and I have these notifications on my Google page, and it's like the brand new stars of Saturday Night Live.
Oh my God.
I was like, I didn't get it. And
Well,
which is totally fine, and I think the more I thought about it, the more I was like, having that experience and that opportunity was just as good, because it would be a lot of work, and like finding out just the lifestyle and just what you have to deal with and just the behind the scenes is like, you have these people who are like some of the funniest people I have had the opportunity to watch on television, and they're just talking about like, you are up from Monday to Saturday night all the time. Like you never have any time. It's always go, go, go. Like you're constantly like on the move. You have to think of your own skits. You have to do all these things.
really?
Like, yeah. So my look into the Bean Wizard is my wife, Hope, she would probably do really well on that show because she's an excellent writer because she's so funny. And she thinks up a lot of our viral things.
We're going to have Hope on the podcast next.
Yeah, we are. One day we will. She would love this actually because she loves talking about the analytics and all the behind the scenes stuff.
We can nerd out about it.
Yeah, you can. And so even just like doing that, it was really cool. But I didn't get it, and I think it was for the best, man. Because I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that to feel accomplished in my life because I already have an incredible family. I have an incredible job. I'm able to come home every day. I think having that gratitude is what it is about. Because if I was like, I need SNL to be somebody and I didn't get it, I can't put my identity into that because that's going to fall, And so I was like, okay, that's good. And I'm like, I'm totally fine with it. It's okay.
There's nothing wrong with wanting more, but it's
Right.
even more important to be okay with what you have.
Right. And I think that's what it was. And
Life
it's
is
really
good,
cool.
It
is. It is so good, dude. We are so blessed, like we're so blessed.
The fact that people allow me to come into their cellular telephone devices and just be dopey, just have a good time. I'm so incredibly lucky. I'm so incredibly blessed. I've been able to run charities and work with organizations, like all the cool things that we
Dude,
get to do that I would never
dude,
get to do this
that's
otherwise. It's
amazing.
just, it's just such a blessing.
That's so cool.
And none of it would matter
Right.
if I wasn't okay with what I was today,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and people don't believe me, and I stand so firmly by this
Yeah.
that I do this for fun. I do this for the love of it. I do this because
Mhm.
it makes people happy. The minute this stops becoming fun, I'll burn the whole thing to the ground.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yep.
And that's the most important thing, because I'm not doing this to become a multimillionaire, because trust me.
Yeah.
Oh, for those of you who think that we are heavily financed,
Yeah.
let me tell you,
No.
that ain't it.
No. No.
But the minute it stops being fun, there's just it's hard sometimes to do this when it is fun.
Right. Yeah. Mhm. It is.
But to be able to count your blessings, and to be able to be happy with where you are,
Yeah.
to be able to not get a goal like Saturday Night Live is that's not even real life.
No,
That's
I
like, this got to be the longest running TV show, right? At this point,
right.
it has to
Yeah.
be up there.
They just celebrated their 50th anniversary. This is their 51st season.
That's longer than Phantom.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's
so true.
insane. It's insane numbers.
It is.
And to be able to have that opportunity, just to have the opportunity,
Right.
forget getting it or not getting it, but just to have that
Right.
opportunity is just so unbelievably incredible.
But I think the thing is too, is to have, like, I've had people who have signed Will Ferrell, or I've had people who have talked to, Lauren Michaels, like, they have seen what I can do. And that's like, oh, wow. But then
you
it's
can't
like,
be thrilled about that.
like, that's so cool. Like, wow, like, that's amazing. It's like, I'm in talks with my management company, because we're working on something that's pretty like hush hush right now.
I'm gonna call them tomorrow.
No, don't. But it's really cool. I'm like really excited about it.
Oh, I can't wait. I better be at least in the top 75 people that find out about it.
I mean, I'll definitely, I always love this part of the podcast where the person says, "Oh, I'll tell you after we, are done talking," because then everyone gets mad, and I'm always that person. I'm like, tell them right now,
right now.
Right. And so
this just in, extra, read all about it.
But the guy, the president of the company, this is someone who he's a pretty big deal. Underdog. They're pretty infamous for the show Snowfall.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that?
I've heard of.
Yeah. So that show is won tons of Emmys.
Yeah,
it's
awards.
a huge show. And he gets on there and he sees me. He's like, what a stud. And I'm like, this is a guy who's seen people.
Stud.
And I'm just like, oh my God. He's like, I love what you do. He's like, you're so awesome. And he asks me, he's like, how's the jail? And I'm like, it's going good, man. I don't know. It's just I think
it's great. You're talking to me, right?
Yeah, I know, literally. But I think that's the big thing, because I think if you can find we're all human, man. We all have things in common. And at the end of the day, no one's bigger than the other person. Just because you and I make people, we make content and we have these amount of views, we're still people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
people definitely tend to think after a while, and you can tell by the way they talk to you.
Yeah.
They just think you're a bunch of pixels on a screen sometimes.
Right. Yeah. It's but I think too, because I've had every time I get noticed, people are like, oh my gosh, it's you. You're just like, whoa, yeah, it is me. I went to the garage. I went to a garage to get my car registered, and this guy, he looks over and he has these lights on, and he looks at me, and I'm like, and he's like, wait a second. He's like, are you the Bean Wizard? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what? And this is in the backwoods of New Hampshire. And he's like, no way. The amount of people that have they're always so excited. And I think it's just because I'm a person, you're a person. We're not different, at all.
It's so important to be genuine, because the people sniff it right out.
They do.
They'll call you out on it.
Yeah, they will. Yes, they.
A buddy of mine used to, I haven't talked to this guy in a long time, but his catchphrase used to be free, be yourself, and be like no one else. That stuck with me. Yeah. Every so often I might steal it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. But Justin, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time hanging out with us over here. I genuinely,
you're so welcome.
You're an absolute Aces creator. I hope you know it, and I hope people tell you that every single day because it is as true today as it will be the next time I tell you.
Wow.
Because I promise you, I'll tell you again. Where can these chuckleheads find you?
Yeah, you can definitely find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just the Bean Wizard Official. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nowhere really else or anything like that yet as of right now. Just, yeah, pretty much any big social platform you can definitely find us on. And yeah, just give us a glance and, it'll be great.
I love it,
We'd love
man.
to have you.
Guys, thank you all so much for spending a little bit of time with myself and the Beam Wizard here on the Quiet Shift podcast. Thank you to everybody who comes and hangs out with us.
Awesome.
Thank you to our good friends over at Frontline Optics, our good friends over at HeroLink, our good friends over at Roth ID Tag, our good friends over at Tracer Mountain Engraving. Work hard, be kind always. Do not forget to tell somebody that you love them. Say it often, make it weird. Justin, thank you so much for hanging out with me, bud.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Have a wonderful evening.
Eat your beans.
Eat your beans.